Okay, welcome back. I'd like us to go into our server to actually understand what Forge is doing for us behind the scenes. So when you create a new site on Forge or new server, Forge is going to send you the login credentials for that server. For example, it's going to tell you about the Forge user that was automatically created, and for you to actually get into the server, you need to use SSH. Okay, so this is a tutorial on how to set up SSH for the Mac OS. You don't need to even read all of this stuff. All you need to do is run this command, and this is simply saying generate a new SSH key, and then you can set up a passphrase if you want, and it's going to save that to the directory you specify. And finally, all you need to do is copy it. Okay, so this generates and this copies it. That's it. So once you copy that key, you can now head over to your Forge server, and under SSH keys you can add a new SSH key, just like I did. Okay, so when you copy, you just need to do a Control V or a Command V, and that's gonna paste the SSH key right there, and you can give it any name. Okay, so if you don't want to keep doing that every time you create a new server, you can head over to My Account, and under SSH keys you can add the SSH key right here, which means every time you create a new server, it's going to automatically be added to that server. Now if you're on a Windows computer, what you need to do is actually follow this tutorial right here to set up the SSH key. So it's not a lengthy process, but all you need to do is download this PuTTY application, which is going to generate an SSH key for your local machine. Once that's generated, you can now copy it and also do exactly the same thing in your Forge dashboard. Okay, so let's head over to my Badcast server and see what's going on inside. So I'm going to open my terminal, and I'm going to simply say SSH and the Forge server at badcast.com, or I can actually use the server IP address. Okay, so I'm in. So as easy as that, once I set up the SSH key, I can get into my server. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. If I ls, we see that we have a list of directories, and these directories actually are the various or different sites that I have on this server. If I was logged in as the root, then I'm going to actually be in the root, but then the Forge server has permissions right in this directory right here. Okay, so this is the app we are working with. So I'm just going to cd into udemy.badcast.com, and I'm going to ls right there, and you see inside this directory we have an exact replica of our application, just like it is in our local machines, because we are pushing to GitHub, and then automatically Laravel Forge is simply pulling from here. Okay, so this is how the application looks behind the scenes. Nothing too complicated. It just pulls into this directory every time we deploy. Okay, and of course there's configurations for Nginx and all of that good stuff going on the server too. But what I want to show you right now is our storage directory. So if I cd into storage and I ls and I cd into logs and I ls, you discover that we have a laravel.log file. So when you want to debug your application, or your application has an error in production, what you can do is simply nano laravel.log, and this is simply going to print out the results or the contents of this laravel.log file, because Laravel is still going to keep logging to this file. Okay, so for example, this is the latest error that I had. It says base table of view not found, udemy.badcast.whatever. Okay, so on production, it's simply going to tell you something went wrong, but then when you come to your server, you can actually see what that error was. Okay, so this is because I tried to visit the site without deploying, meaning without migrating my database migrations. So if you want to debug your application, you can actually come to your laravel.log file in your production server and then check it out. Okay, so we're going to talk about how to set up better error handling in a very future video. But for now, you just need to understand how to get into your server, and sometimes you might need to get into your server to fix merge conflicts or to fix Git problems and stuff like that. This is how you get into your server. Okay, so to exit the server, I just need to exit. Okay, so that's how we get into our server. That's how it looks inside. Pretty much exactly the same thing, but now we know the amount of work that Forge is doing for us behind the scenes. Okay, so I'm gonna hit pause right now, and we're gonna keep talking about Forge in the very next video.